Hello fellow kaiju fans, I hope you're doing well. I am doing this video because it was prompted by a dear friend of mine named Omniviewer here on YouTube. He noticed that the Marvel Cinematic Universe enticed its fans to do videos sharing their one marvelous moment where they would share a very fond memory or favorite scene from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Omniviewer decided that it would be interesting to do the same for kaiju films, Godzilla films, Mothra, Gamera, whatever, and I decided to do one myself. Actually, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because mine is 2 moments, but I will connect them all together at the end. But my one monstrous moment lies strictly within the Mothra trilogy, the 90s Mothra trilogy. They are quaint, very whimsical films that a lot of Godzilla fans notably overlook because they're mostly aimed at children. However, when I watched them as a teenager, I found it very emotionally thought-provoking because there was a lot of very deep levels of character development, especially within the giant monsters. And my first monstrous moment was the death scene featured in the first Mothra movie back in 1996 of the trilogy, where Mothra saves her larva and ends up drowning in front of her child because she's too old and too weak from battling Death Ghidorah that she can't fly anymore, and she ends up drowning. And that moment, which is unbelievably emotional, I still cry to this day watching it. It has the most beautiful musical score accompanying it, and the other characters, the human characters and Mothra's fairies are watching and they're mourning and grieving, but this one moment, this loss, is the motivation for Mothra's offspring to travel far, grow powerful enough in order to defeat the enemy that weakened his mother. And that really resonated with me because despite all of the loss that Mothra went through, he still was able to empower himself well enough in order to complete the mission, essentially, that his mother did not complete. And that was very thought-provoking for me, seeing as I was in high school at that time and I was going through a lot of very difficult things. I was experiencing a lot of loss, and that really helped motivate me to move forward and to keep going. But the second monstrous moment from the Mothra trilogy for me is actually in the third movie. The third movie is arguably the darkest movie of the three, but there is an event where Mothra fails in fighting King Ghidorah, and it's her mission. I still consider Rainbow Mothra she, I can't help it. She ends up traveling into the past, but there's a scene where one of Mothra's fairies, her name is Mole, she is left behind because both of her sisters get trapped in this large dome that's meant to, I don't know, consume and digest children. The movie's a little bit whimsical in places, but she is talking to the male lead character, the human character in the film, and she basically has a conversation with Mothra because Mothra wants to travel in the past, but Mole did not want her to do that because she wouldn't probably return. But Mole is eventually convinced by Mothra, and she tells Shota, the human character, a very thought-provoking statement, and she says that the scope of the mind is unlimited. It can reach where arms can't, through any barrier. And that quote has meant a lot to me over the years because struggling with depression, I have come to realize that sometimes my mind is the only barrier that I have, and I have to remind myself that the scope of my own mind is unlimited and that I can reach past those difficult things. And I found that very easy to relate to, and it still connects with me. I get a little bit teary-eyed whenever I hear it, and that's why I find the trilogy of movies so unbelievably wholesome. It's whimsical, it's fun, but there's also very small moments that really draw the audience in and And like most campy shows or movies will have like, oh, don't be a bad person as a theme, but the Mothra trilogy seems to have deep themes that are well rooted in intelligence and growth. I love that unbelievably, and that's pretty much it for me. That's my two monstrous moments, but at the end of the day, they both are serving the same purpose for me. They helped me keep persevering and overcoming. So thank you for taking the chance to listen to my video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and if you are a Godzilla YouTuber or kaiju YouTuber in general, I encourage you to also participate in this before Godzilla King of the Monsters comes out. Anyway, stay tuned for my next Godzilla video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.